Hey, welcome back, boys and girls. This is a pattern that I've tied up earlier, I would say late summer. I'm just getting a chance to put it on video. This is the Ram Cat Caddis. We had took a couple different trips down to the Youghiogheny, and this is a bug that we found down there. Okay, if you've ever fished down there, very, very big water, very, very fast, and it's kind of difficult to access from the shore. So we had never been down there before, and we wanted to do a little bit of exploring, and this is something that we came across. What we had noticed is the bugs flying around, but you couldn't really tell what they were. They're 30-40 yards out in the creek, and we just couldn't gain access to it. So we looked for it. We tied a couple green bugs, which is what this has on the underbody, but we never really got a hand on them until our second trip down there. And this is kind of what we got. I was sitting there on a rock, and these things are just crawling out, from underneath the rock, crawling up on, the tops of the rocks, and then taking off. So they were already fully developed when they did that. They very well could have been swimming down there, grabbed the rock, and climbed out that way. But this is what we're trying to represent. Ram Cat Beach is the beach that is down on the Youghiogheny, where a lot of the drift boats and things like that launch from. So that's where the name comes from. So to show you what ingredients we got here for the hook, one of my favorite hooks. This is Firehole 520, size 18. This is just a curved jig hook. And here we got some Mun 3mm beads. This is in like a mottled gray. For the tail we got just Glow Bright number 3. The body that we're using is this bright green, and this is a product that's called Aunt Lydia's crochet thread that I get at Michael's. And it comes in a big spool like this. It's like a lifetime supply, for like less than $10. But I'll dye these, cut 4 or 5 feet off when I'm dyeing feathers or dyeing fur or something like that. If I have a new color and I want to, get a different string, I'll throw some of that in there too. This one has a little bit of a metallic wrap to it, which creates a little bit of an issue sometimes, but it's got an easy fix. Also for the dubbing, this is SLF. Not sure what the actual color is they're calling that. They're just calling it SLF Prism and Olive. And let's see what else we got. Some of the things that I wanted to go over with you today. Different types of wing materials. Okay, I've been looking at this and debating whether I want to put some money into it, and just to try to tie some patterns up. But this is one type of material. This is the material that we're using on this pattern. Okay, this is by River Wing, which is the same people that make these cutters that I use all the time. Okay, and these cutters I think were originally designed for foam, but I don't tie with a lot of foam, but they cut in specific patterns. Okay, this is size 18 caddis wing. You can see a little bump in the back, and it just makes it a little bit more convenient, a little bit more clean. The problem is trying to find a material that isn't going to fall apart, when you do this. And that's kind of the differences, with the wing material that we have. You can see how translucent this is, but if you look at the edges, it's a little difficult. There's the hole that I used to cut these with. Okay, and they held their shape pretty good, but when they get wet, this kind of disappears. I didn't really like that. Whereas this stuff is more, this stuff by, oh jeez, it's called River Wing. This is kind of like a paper almost, but it is woven, and yeah, it's very durable and somewhat thick comparatively. What I liked about it is that it held its shape. It has this great color with the modeling on the top, and yeah, when it got wet, it gets dark a little bit, but it still shows as a wing. You really can't see this bright green body through the wing, even when it's wet. So kind of like that idea. So this is what we're going to get into today. The little antennas that we have here, this is a piece of horsetail. Okay. This thread that I'm using is Semperfli Nano Silk, 12-aught black. I take this almost back to where the drop is when I put this thread on. And you know, when you use this Glow Bright, I really only ever use it for tails, but it's fluorescent, so hopefully that makes a difference. But essentially I take like a 6-piece inch of thread, fold it in half, cut it, so I have 2 3-inch, fold it in half, cut it again, so I got, you know, 4 little strands here. All we're gonna do is just tie these in gently, and then I'm gonna take up some of that extra to get this to be tacked down a little bit. And the reason I want that so far back, I want it to hang underneath the wing, and we're gonna cut that just like a miller so off there. Now when we get our string, when you get this stuff, you can see the little flash that's in there. A lot of times it's gonna come loose, but if you clip the tips real clean, that helps, you know, keep things where they're supposed to be. And then I'll tack that part on the part that I cut, right on top of the hook. Okay, I'll secure that on, go up to the head here, and I'm gonna tie this off. Okay. Now the thing I like about this crochet thread is the segmentation that you can get, and you'll see that here. It's very pronounced, very easy to work with. And see how good that looks. There's no need for really anything else on it. You know, like putting UV or something like that. Very durable. Okay. So when we get these wings, okay, we'll go through some of the examples, you know, at the end here. But I cut a bunch out, you know, so that I have them like prepped and ready. We're gonna just lay this on the top, kind of fold it down over a little bit. We want the back side to be covered. We want the tag to be out. And all we're gonna do is try to cinch this right behind the head. You can see how we get that little folded look here. We'll cut that at the end. It's another nice thing I like about this material. It really grabs that thread, you know, when you're trying to tighten it down. We'll cut off that little tag and then just fold it like that. Okay, now your horsetail, well, you can use anything as far as antennas. I like this because it's, you know, springy and stiff. What I'll do is I'll tie this on this side of the hook, get it secured. Put one wrap underneath so it kind of makes this pop up. And I'm going to roll this over this one, kind of do the same thing so that it's on the side of the hook. And then I'll go under both of them to make them pop a little bit. Okay, now go from the side. I usually just pinch them together and then I'll clip off the length that I want. You can always adjust that. Okay, stands up nice and tall. Now get a very small amount of your dubbing. I would say that much. All I want to do is just cover up the mess, basically. That's going to be way too much. All we're going to do is just wrap this a few times around here. Pull the rest of that off. Secure that down behind the bead. And we're going to tie this off. You can brush this out. I try to only brush it on the bottom a little bit. Just to give it a few little bit of stragglers there. Make sure your horns are pointing the right direction. And that's what we got. What I have done, it's a little easier to do this off of the vise, is I'll get the scissors and go right up that crease as far as you can and split it. Okay, so this is what we got. All right, Ram Cat Caddis. This is with River Wing material. There's probably about a half a dozen different companies that make this stuff. I don't normally, I prefer using something that was a little bit more like wing material. Swiss straw is what this one is. Okay, and you can see it creates a wing, and but you can directly see through it. All right, in the water this gets a little bit darker, but it still just looks like it doesn't have anything. This was the other material by Hairline. You can see it creates that nice little, you know, translucent, shiny type effect, but again, you can see through it. I didn't want that. So they both fish fine. I don't know which one catches more fish as of yet, but the progression of this one, I lost my bug. Progression of this one is kind of what started that October caddis that I did here a month or two ago. I just like the way that you know, the body looks, the segmentation looks by using that stuff. I use that on a lot of different bugs. Very easy, very quick. You can tie 100 of them, you know, in no time. But yeah, that's the difference. This is before the wing, after the wing. There you go, guys. Ram Cat Caddis. If you go down to the yacht, take some of these with you. They were everywhere. So that and yellow stoneflies. That was another one that I saw down there. So give it a chance, or give it a shot. It might give you a good chance of some, you know, some fish down there. The water temperatures down there are constant almost year round. So you're gonna get different bugs, you know, than we typically see. I've never seen anything like this around the Youghiogheny. And yeah, hopefully it'll grab you some fish. All right, guys, we'll see you again soon. Thanks for stopping by.